Hi there. Welcome to Exit Stage Right with Martha Sullivan. This is a show where we talk about ways that you can build, buy, and sell your business in such a way that you are able to exit stage right whenever that time comes and meet all of your financial goals. Hi there, I'm Martha Sullivan and I am your host of Exit Stage Right. So welcome. We're thrilled to have you join us today. This is a show where we'll talk about the business of business and ways that you can set yourself up and your business up to be your best and brightest self. Whether you are a business owner currently, you hope to be sometime in the future, or you are a kick-tail leader in your organization, I think there'll be a little bit of pearls of wisdom or chicken nuggets to gnaw on either way. So again, welcome. So speaking of chicken nuggets, did you know that September is National Chicken Month? Who knew? I didn't even know there was a National Chicken Month. So every week in September on Exit Stage Right, each show, we're going to have a different chicken theme. We thought we'd have a little bit of fun with it. Anything from, chickens coming home to roost. What are you chicken to talk about? Don't count your eggs before they're hatched. And of course, what came first, the chicken or the egg? All in the scheme of business and family business and things of that nature. So we're going to have some fun with Chicken Month, and I hope you'll join us for that. So in this day and age, I think, it's a great, chickens coming home to roost is a good theme because, oh my goodness, there are chickens coming home to roost pretty much everywhere you turn, whether it's the political news or other news, or your friend down the street is finding out somebody's cheating on them, to somebody has a heart attack. Chickens come home to roost. We know that. And one of the areas that I see this happen in is very often business and business succession. And it's really heartbreaking to see, because it doesn't have to be that way. The chickens don't have to come home to roost when it's time to transfer leadership or ownership of a business. You can do things to make sure it goes well and smoothly, and it's a win-win for everyone. So you see, readiness for succession or readiness for ownership transition isn't just a state of mind. It's truly based in fact. Either you have things in place so somebody else can take over, or you don't. You have saved the financial resources so you can move on from the business, or you haven't. States of fact, not really states of mind. You can prove it out. And the fact is, too often we kick these cans down the road, believing everything will just work out and it'll be fine. And we don't put in the legwork to make sure that it does end up okay and everything will be fine. So I was thinking about this in relationship to a client business that I was aware of years ago, and I was talking with the business owner. We hadn't worked together. It was more of a networking situation, and he shared the story. Mike shared the story of how he had taken over his parents' business. And at first, he was really, really excited about the opportunity. But as their parting gift to their son, the parents actually saddled him with an albatross, if you will. They had used the company as their personal piggy bank over the course of the years. They weren't willing to invest in the infrastructure needed to grow the business. And ultimately, the debt burden that they placed on their son asking him to buy them out because they needed it for their retirement was crippling the company. They hadn't saved sufficient resources outside the company, and they hadn't set the company up to thrive, strive, and survive past their ownership. And so it's like they kind of hit this trifecta because Mike couldn't grow the business. He was saddled with servicing the debt. Therefore, the business found itself struggling from a cash flow and growth perspective. And ultimately, all of their outcomes were jeopardized. The parents were depending on the business doing well, but hadn't set it up to do so. Mike was obviously depending on the business to do well because he had sunk his future, pinned his future to it. It's a classic case of chickens coming home to roost. In my July 4th episode of Exit Stage Right, I talked about another instance in which the chickens came home to roost. And in that scenario, an owner saw great potential in one of his next generation leaders and actually got him all jazzed up about the opportunity to take over the business when he retired. So here's this next gen leader all jazzed up, ready to drink from the fire hose and take it over. But then the business owner dropped the ideas like a carton of eggs. And it was just a mess all over the floor because he failed to take the next steps to make sure that both he and his next gen leader were on the same page and walking in tandem to get ready for the transition. All the eggs broke in absence of his action, in absence of his training the next gen guy and having his back and getting the other colleagues to understand that this guy, he's going to be taking over eventually and giving him the cred and the authority to do what he needed to do to be in a position to take over. So eventually the owner came back to the next gen leader and said, hey, you still interested in ownership? And the guy's like, WTF, man, we've squandered all these years and now you want me to just take over and pay you a pretty penny for the business that I've helped you grow? I don't know. That trust was pretty broken and those chickens were coming home to roost. So there's a method to the madness in terms of becoming ready to transition a business. You really need to do some work in making sure that the leadership structure is developed, that your customer base is strong and there isn't too much concentration. So if relationships change, the business isn't at risk, or that your employees and your management team are ready to step in and leverage systems you've invested in so that company can grow and thrive. You know, according to the Exit Planning Institute, there are what we call 5 Ds, and these are 5 different chickens that make the chickens coming home to roost. Man, they make their biggest ruckus when one of these 5 Ds shows up. So what are those 5 Ds? They are death, disability, divorce, disagreement, or distress. Any one of those can disrupt your ownership or your role in a business. So what are you doing in your professional role, in your business ownership, and in your personal life to protect yourself from those 5 Ds? It's very important that you think about that. And so what can you do to protect yourself and your family and your company, your colleagues from those 5 Ds, the ultimate chickens coming home to roost? Well, for one, you can document your personal plan. You can document your contingency plan, I refer to it as the good humor truck. At some point or another, the good humor truck is going to come by, scoop me up, and take me away. And have I left a documented contingency plan for my colleagues and or my family? It's really important that we do that, guys, because people need to know who to turn to. They need to know, where are the accounts? Where are the important papers? How do I access these accounts? Right down to, where do you go to find your secret handshake book of passwords if that's necessary? That's I think the ultimate KFC bucket of chicken, is to have that contingency plan developed and key trusted people know where that is, should one of those 5Ds come along and take you out of commission. Another important way of making sure that you're protecting yourself against the chickens coming home to roost is doing a business readiness assessment. I do this all the time with business leaders and owners, where we sit down and we talk about, what are the strengths and risks facing the business, and how can we enhance the business so that it's stronger going forward. And at the same time, it's ready for transition should one of those 5Ds hit. It's also growing in value, so you're not leaving chicken feed on the table. See how I did that? I'm having so much fun with Chicken Month. Lastly, do a health check on your company. And at the same time you're doing that health check on your company, do a readiness check and health check on your own personal readiness. So, do you have a personal financial plan? What are your goals? How do those goals tie to your personal financial plan? Are you on track? What do you need it to be? Critical, important process to making sure you can exit stage right with that financial security you're striving for. And personally, where are you at? What are your goals? What are the other passions or things that might be in the back of your mind that you really are passionate about and want to ultimately pursue? Make sure you're doing that check once in a while too, so you don't find yourself going, wasn't ready for that, or I really wish I had done this. If we're looking forward and having that continuous plan for ourselves and our goals and whatnot, transitioning out of one business opportunity or one professional opportunity into the next life opportunity becomes so much smoother, and it really opens up the opportunity for those win-wins and everyone to end the day sunny side up, so to speak. So the other tidbit that I have for you, if you want more on this topic, there are, I have a little treat for you in that. If you are interested in learning more and getting a worksheet, I have to get this screen back up for you guys first. So if you would like more information on how to prepare for your own readiness, there is a little worksheet on the Providence Hill website. Scan this QR code to download the business readiness checklist and see just whether you're protected from the chickens coming home to roost, or if there are things that you can do to get yourself in a better position for whatever comes next in your life. I am absolutely thrilled that you joined us today. Please check us out at www.providencehill.com, or if you're a family business, check me out at thefbcg.com, and we will see you next time. I have a really good feeling about this. I want you to go forward and transform your business today. Kicking me out my chair, dancing like I don't care.